say it, and we completely condemn it. And we, as a Muslim community, have to stand up against these things because actually it's haram. It's totally haram. What you do, either publicly or privately, has to be held. You have to be held to account for that. And I believe that this whole thing is, I mean, we're not fully aware of the controversy. I came here, her name is, I don't know what her name is. What's her name, sir? The woman that was involved in the controversy, that she came in here.
Saida.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. So it was with a J.
Jelenka.
Oh.
Jelenka, yeah?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Whatever her name is. So that whole saga that happened, there's a few things I want to make a point of, right? Number one, Speaker's Corner shouldn't be a place where we attack personalities, okay? So that has to stop. Number two, we're here so that we can do da'wah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we can argue the case for Islam. We're not here to engage in character assassination and so on, unless the person is identified as an enemy of Islam, in which case there's a maslaha, you know, there's something good from outside, character assassination. Number three, what happened with Sayyid, completely condemn it as the Muslim community. We say that what he said.
Sorry, are you going to still use him as a cameraman though?
No, we don't own the property rights. No, hold on.
Because OSKKK
We don't own the
Dawah,
property rights. Everyone here is free.
he's not very repentant in what he said.
Thank you very much, but I'm making a point,
Yeah,
if you don't mind, yeah? This is not, we can't enforce any rules on anyone. My personal advice to say would be not to come to Speaker's Corner for some time, because I feel like, obviously, we've aggravated the black community by saying something which maybe you didn't mean at this particular time, but you still said it. And I don't think it would be wise from our perspective if you were to come to the park. I think you should at least have some time off. It's my personal suggestion to him. I'm happy to make that public until things have settled, and I'm happy that he's apologised for this because Respect has accepted the apology, so this is done and dusted now. But we still have to condemn it because from our perspective, since we're in the park, we've made aware of this, we have to say this is something, we don't care of who it is. I mean, the Quran says, be upright, standing with justice. If it's against yourself or your parents and the close ones. So obviously, Sayyid is continually a very close person to us, and we love him for the sake of Allah, for being a Muslim and so on. However, we must correct his wrong in public, as his statement has reached the public realm as well. Moreover now, this whole thing, and also I have to say this, this is the last thing I say and then I'll put it on to Ali Dawah, is that I've heard that there have been rumours and allegations against our brothers, once again, like Mohammed and other people that relate to their ird, which their dignity. And I want to say something, that Islam has come to protect 5 things. It has come to protect the deen of the people, the religion of the people, in most cases Islam. It's come to protect 5 things. I'm not going to go through all of them, but one of them is ird. Ird is the dignity of the human being. And in Islam there are strict rulings and parameters as to what accusations you can make, especially in regards to people's private lives, whether it be a sexual allegation or otherwise. And we will not tolerate, as a Muslim community, anyone making an allegation against Muslims or non-Muslims of a sexual nature, of a sexual or personal nature, which relates to their own dignity, and their own private life, where it comes to family and when it comes to relationships, because that's not what we're here to do. So in Islam we have very strict guidelines. If someone comes forward and makes an allegation to say that someone has done this and that, they must produce their witnesses. Now if they don't produce their 4 witnesses, and they must be just witnesses and many other conditions apply with those witnesses, then we consider them as liars. As simple as that. So anyone who said anything about Muhammad Tawheed and his sex life, or anyone who says anything about Jedi even, or Respect, or anyone, I'm not aware of exactly what's being said, we consider all of those things as lies. We consider all of those things as lies. We will not accept these kind of things being, people, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim, being attacked and their dignity being questioned without evidence and without sufficient evidence and sufficient testimony. So that's all we want to say. We completely condemn the racism. We completely condemn the sexual allegations, all of them that are made in this park. and so on. And so we are here to ensure and safeguard. We should all, as collective Muslims in this part, safeguard the Muslim brothers and sisters here. Yeah, no one should be accused of sexual things without sufficient evidence. And that includes non-Muslims as well.
Hey.
So, as we said, that of course it does. Yes. Good. So as we said,
He's happy now. He's happy now.
Father Christmas himself.
Father Christmas
Himself. You know, came here and someone accused him of having sexual intercourse.
Or bringing the presents on time.
Yes, or coming down the chimney sweep and then having a relationship with. I mean, all those things.
Yeah.
The cookies, he wanted more than just the cookies. Maybe that's where Hatun got the milk from, actually.
Exactly.
Maybe she thought he gave it for Santa, but.
Yeah.
Your guess is better than mine. Your guess is better than mine.
Anyway.
And another issue is that, for example, I heard certain things.
I still believe a
that were being
9/11 was
asked, like,
carried out by 19
can you help me find some
keep
dirt on
believing.
Dawah or Mohammed Hijab, yeah? So what it seems like is that someone's been plotted, yeah? And this is the next thing. My teachers always said to me, said, be careful with the three things: fame, money, and woman. Yeah. Now it doesn't mean women that they're evil natured, but it's a fitna. It's something that you need to be careful around. Yeah. So money and fame, may Allah protect us from it. But it seems like they're coming with this agenda of, oh, this your woman, you did this and did that. Yeah. So firstly, I asked that person to fear Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, fear God, by going around and asking people, oh, do you know anything about Ali or hijab's life, etc. You got a disease in your heart. Yeah. And secondly, like Mohammed Hijab said very clearly, I don't need to reiterate it, that it's slander. Like, for example, we know of the companion who saw his own wife committing sexual intercourse, and he came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet said, in my eyes, you're a liar. Yeah. In other words, yeah. Why? Because it's a big allegation. With Islam, it's a big allegation. There's a severe punishment for those who slander. Yeah. And that's when revelation came down about, how they could, come to an agreement and take an oath, etc. So the issue here is that that's why in Islam it says you have to have 4 witnesses, yeah? And that you have to see the penetration happening. Yeah, you have to see, and I don't know who on earth does that. There were some crazy people today. So that's why fear Allah in trying to slander people and using these new tactics of, let's make allegations and bring, the issue of females into this, yeah? It's an absolute lie, and anyone that does it, you're a liar, and we ask, inshallah, whoever it's done to, Muslim or non-Muslim, inshallah.
Yeah, like there's a few things I just want to add to that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, few allegations of homosexuality. You say, okay, well, the person is self-identified as a heterosexual, yeah? Or these people, yeah? And then you say, no, they're a homosexual, meaning you're accusing them of having sexual intercourse with another man, or these things. Well, you don't have the evidence to make that claim. That's number one. Whether it be for a Muslim or a non-Muslim, you can't say that. We live in an age of technology. Yeah, even with someone like Sarah, let's be honest, yeah, we could have easily jumped on that bandwagon and said, this and that. We don't want to. Sorry, but that's not our da'wah. That's not what we believe in. We don't go on to those levels and do these things. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, the sexual intercourse is very clearly defined in Islam as penetration, pen going into the ink, either vaginally or rectally. Now, I'm sorry to say, but if you want to make an allegation against someone, whether it's Muslim or non-Muslim, you have to have your witnesses, all of which see penetration or pen going into the ink, either anally or rectally. And I'm sure no one has got anything close to the evidence like that. The best thing you have is some silly evidence of websites and this and that. This guy was a model. And what's that got to do with the allegation you're putting forward? That's certainly not something we accept as the Muslim community, and we're certainly, if we know who's making those allegations in those videos, we'll be the first to reprimand them, because this is something which is trying to take away from the person's dignity. He is identified as heterosexual. Leave him as that. Leave it as that situation as that. What's the other point? Yes, that's all. So that's our stance on the matter. On the racist issue, that's very bad. I mean, we completely condemn that. And it's very exactly the words that Sayyid used was the words that's in the hadith where the Prophet Muhammad got angry with Bilal, with Abu Dhar al-Ghafari, because he said to exactly the same words that Sayyid used according to that translation. Now I might be wrong about translation, but the son of a black woman, that's exactly word for word.
Is Sayyid denying this? Because I heard
No, he's not denying it. He's not denying it no more. I don't think so. His son of a black woman is exactly the word that Abu Dhar al-Ghafari used, yeah, to refer to Bilal, and that's what the hadith says, that he was angry, the Prophet Muhammad was angered, and he had to apologize. Now, two things to note for the Muslim community, that the apology was accepted, though. both from Bilal and from the rest of the community. Yeah. But the other thing is that it's actually angered the Prophet. So this shows you that racism like this, and it was exactly the same phraseology. So just as it angered the Prophet, it angers us, and we are totally upset by this kind of remark. We hope that it will settle down, and obviously, as a Muslim community here, speak school and elsewhere, we have a right to speak this truth, and we don't necessarily mind if you're hurting anyone's feelings. Someone's emotional state of being comes second place to justice. That's what I have to say.
Can I just ask you a question? Like, after this situation, I almost became Muslim. Do you know why?
Yes.
Because Saeed, swore on the Quran and his legs went all wonky afterwards.
I don't know.
He couldn't stand. So I think God was punishing him.
Can you take it off by the Quran? That's a different story.
No, you can't take it. You can't.
I think that might be a sign from God. His legs went all funny.
You can take it off by the Quran because the Quran is a sifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
But they asked him, they said, are you racist?
But his legs he couldn't stand after. He had to massage his legs and he couldn't walk.
But anyways, like we said before, we've made it very clear.
Can I ask one question? So long as he's apologised, I mean, to be honest with you, as long as he's genuinely sorry.
As we said,
genuinely
yes.
apologise, yeah?
I would
And
say
even
give it
if
some
he-
time.
even
My
if-
recommendation, I told them two things. I said to them, my recommendation.
Because we're only human, we make mistakes.
No,
We end up saying
100%.
something
I said
we
my
don't mean.
recommendation was for him to leave the park for some time. I think he's respecting that recommendation. And number two, to do some work with us in Africa, because we put some wells in Ghana. There.
But then again,
No, honestly,
but-
we want to show that, that was my recommendation. But obviously,
no, but then again, people can say, oh, you're going there on purpose to make it seem like, look,
I just raise money using your platform.
No, we said,
No
we're
problem.
already doing it. Look, we've been doing this before the issue came up, because I don't want people to say, oh, now you guys are just bringing Africa into it, so get Saeed to... No, listen, I'll make it very clear. Yeah? We've been doing it from last year, actually 2-3 years. I work with Human Relief Foundation. We raised £55,000. We went to Ghana, 10 water wells, we built it, and now we're planning on building a school, a mosque, a water well and a playground for the kids in a specific village. If Saeed wants to get involved, he can. We're not stopping nobody here. If Leon wants to get involved, fam, come anytime. If Father Christmas wants to come, fam, it's going to be too hot for you there, but still. So if you want to come, inshallah you can come, just to clarify that point, yeah?
But just warn him not to say the N-word though.
Yeah, of course. I'll warn you as well.
Because he has a...
Whose is this?
Oh, it's one of the...
I think it's Sam Dawah.
it's one of the guys.